folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, today something brand new just arrived, hot from the courier, all the way from the land of mysteries and ancient legends, the land of Greece. It's GasPatch. Now you might recall, two and a half years ago I think it was now, that I reviewed the GasPatch Me163B Komet in 1/48 scale. Today they have released a 1/72 scale version, but it's very unusual because it is something I've not really tried before, to be honest. It is this high quality 3D printed model kit. So it's a little bit of a glimpse of the future perhaps for us here. Now it has injection moulded plastic clear parts, so they should be good. And it comes in this quite small box, as you can see. It's not at all large. Let me zoom you in and I'll show you what we've got on the side, because there's some quite interesting features here, and I thought it was almost a game changer. I thought something we should definitely have a quick look at as soon as possible. So we've got a variety of different options on the side, as you can see. And we have got, this is obviously the experimental rocket powered fighter with a Volta rocket motor powered by the mixture of T-Stoft, a hydrogen peroxide mix, T-Stoft and C-Stoft. Very nasty chemicals indeed, very corrosive, and of course lots of stories I've told in the past about horrible accidents where the fuel tank's broken up and the pilot's been doused in fuel, as in acid, and melted. In one case almost to a skeleton, quite literally. Unbelievably horrific. But anyway, so we've got the Jägersvader 400 at Brandish in 1945, April. Then we've got the JG400 at 1945, again doesn't say where. Then we've got the February 45 at Brandish, this third one, or Brandis I should say. Then we've got the EJG 2 in the spring of 45, doesn't say where. And then we've got the Air Ministry in Air Ministry 203, this is the one that I think the French captured, French colours. And then finally we've got the captured UK post-war one that Eric Winkle Brown famously flew. Very, very brave man, I can tell you, rather him than me with one of these. But anyway, now on the reverse you've got this, it's such a dinky little thing. It's fairly heavy though, the box, even though it's very small. And on the back we have actually got a history, so I'll zoom you back and I shall read you the brief history. It's not that brief. I like the way they did the same thing with the 1/48 kit, and I like the way they're doing this. It's all indicating a positive outcome. It says, the Me163B Komet was not only the first rocket-powered fighter aircraft, but also the first rocket-propelled fighter that deployed in combat units and actually saw action in the world. It came as a solution for a fast-climbing fighter that could be deployed near strategic targets in order to defend them, cities and factories and things like that, from the Allied bomber swarms that flew over Germany, really mainly the Americans. The US Army Air Force of course were doing the daylight raids. So this is from 1944 onwards. The Me163 origins began in 1937 by DFS company. DFS-39 was a Lippisch was the designer. Lippisch Delta IV glide plane that first tests took place. Work followed with the DFS 194 and tests were concluded with a propeller engine, although it was planned that the aircraft would be propelled by a rocket engine. In 1939 Messerschmitt joined the project, and by 1940 the first airframe was sent to the military aviation test facilities at Peenemünde. By 1941 the first prototype of the aircraft was built, given its designation number Me163A. By the 2nd of October 41 the Me163A set a new world record speed record by achieving 1,004.5 kilometers per hour, smashing the 1,000 kilometer per hour barrier. December 1941 marked the production appearance of the Komet in full production, the Me163B variant. A couple of pre-production prototypes were built, followed by the Me163B-0 and about the 400 of the Me163-1A. B version incorporated all the necessary changes and simplifications that had been made in order for mass production, including armament. The 163B was armed with a pair of MG151 20mm cannons on its wing leading edge, wing root. But this changed to the more powerful pair of MK108 30mm cannons, which we're more familiar with, in the B version. As an aircraft, the Komet looked very promising and had a number of features to support that. It had outstanding climb rate of 4,800 metres per minute. Well, you've seen the pictures it takes off on the dolly and then goes vertical. Absolutely incredible. This made it possible to reach the bombers operating at altitudes in just 3 minutes, because they were at about 15 to 20,000 feet. Speed was well over 300 kilometres per hour, above that of any Allied fighter. 300 kilometres per hour, so that's 200 miles an hour faster. It's a big difference, a bit over speed, isn't it? Making it impossible for the Allies to pursue it. The compact size, lightweight construction and large wings for its size gave it excellent manoeuvrability and handling characteristics. On the other hand, it also had some serious drawbacks. Here we go. What was I saying? Although revolutionised and ahead of its time, its technology was extremely dangerous. The 163 was powered by a Valter 109-509B rocket engine that used a mixture of T-Stoft and C-Stoft, which were highly toxic both to the pilot and the ground crew. Many accidents happened during refuelling. Landing was also extremely dangerous due to the lack of landing gear. A central skid was used. If landing was successful and the aircraft didn't blow up due to any fuel leak, it had to wait in the open until a special recovery, a Schlepper tractor, could recover it. The pilot remained strapped in the cockpit the whole time. Easy prey for any lurking Allied fighters that might have followed them down. And were waiting to catch them in the process of landing or just afterwards. This became an Allied tactic once they learned it, well of course. In combat, the Me163B proved impossible to intercept, but its engine could only run for 7 minutes, giving it a very short time for enemy engagement. Only 2 passes could really be achieved, one underneath while climbing and the second one during descending through the enemy bomber formations. After attack, the pilot should burn all the fuel first and then glide to the airstrip once empty, ready for landing. Only one combat unit were equipped with this fighter, Jägersvader 400. Operational service started in July of 1944 until May of 45, and during those 9 months, only 9 confirmed kills were credited to the fighter. 3 of them to Feldwebel Siegfried Schubert. Lack of fuel, I think I should say. Translation again. Lack of fuel kept aircraft from flying. Lack of fuel kept aircraft from flying, and operations became more and more sparse until the disbandment of the unit in early May 1945 at the end of the war. Today, a number of the Me163Bs are on display in a number of museums around the world, making it possible to see one up close. This revolutionary aircraft that so many hopes have been invested in. Its pilots, those who survived in brackets, had the satisfaction of knowing they flew the hottest bird in the sky in World War II, especially as Spate remembered of his pilots. They were all filled. Yes, Spate was a top scorer as well. They were all filled with an intractable urge to serve their fatherland in a special way. They were ready to give their lives in order to fulfill their dream of flying in a rocket. Well, good luck to them. That's all I can say. God. It's a good write-up, that's really good, that. I'm very impressed already. So, shall we have a look at it then and see what we've got in here? It's going to be very, very interesting. It didn't explain it about Spate, or, Spate. I read the book by Mano Ziegler called, as you just call, Rocket Fighter. It's definitely worth a read. He was a Nazi there, but we won't worry about that too much. And they tried to sort of brush it aside, but he was fairly committed. Anyway, we won't get into that. Let's have a look at what we got in this box then. So, this has just arrived, as I say. Hot delivery from Greece. Oh, there we go. Let's have a look. Oh, now this is going to be quite different, I think, in many ways. Now GasPatch do some wonderful stuff. They do beautiful resin anyway. World War One guns and all that kind of thing, and you know, machine guns. But look at this. Look at this. Let's zoom you in. What do you think of this? Look at the way they've sort of engraved the actual foam GasPatch models. Isn't that cool? Amazing. Okay. Clear parts, which are very small. We've got a little bag of something here. It's mask set. We have. Sorry, I'll zoom back. It's better if you got in a bit too close there. Then we've got a little leaflet set here with their other products in it. Oh, they've got a sloop schlepper by the look of it. They've now got yeah, they actually have a sloop schlepper in 48 scale. Check this out. That looks nice, doesn't it? Well, I'll tell you what, that really does look good. How incredible. I know others do it. Is it Dragon do one of these? Somebody else does one, don't they? And then inside, zoom you back, inside we've got this nice card. Or is that the instructions? Okay, that's the instructions. Here we go. Here we go. So that is the instructions. And then, oh my goodness, underneath, look at this. Right, this is going to be absolutely fascinating, I can tell. Let me just zoom you back. Is that supposed to be there? I'm feeling that's not supposed to be like that, but oh, okay, here we go. I think some of the parts have come out of their position after being in transit from Greece. That goes in there, does it? Sorry, just bear with me, we're just having a little bit of a... Ah, there it goes there. Right, hold on a second. Some of the parts have got dislodged from where they should be. That's what it is. I've got one that looks like it's almost missing. Or is it? So let me show you what we've got, what I'm looking at here, because it's going to amaze you. Look at this. So everything is a resin 3D printed part. I'll take them out in a second, but just soak this up for a sec. Isn't that amazing? You can hopefully packed it well. Absolutely remarkable. Just got to take one of them out. One of these big ones. The wing. Let me just take this wing out. There. And then we have got our 3D printed part. And they are, I mean, it's got to be said that at this scale, this is remarkable. It's got landing flaps and it's got front wing slats as well. Slats. The slats are actually moulded in the open position. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Wow. That's on its 3D frame. So this is obviously a direction that GasPatch have decided they're going to go in. And we'll look at that in a bit more detail in a minute. But I do like the presentation. It looks like there's a part missing here, but I think it's optional because I think you only need one set of wheels, don't you? So perhaps that's just perhaps there's another variant that might come later. Don't think there's anything missing in that set. Let's just have a look at the old instructions then. See what we've got here. Oh, on the back we've got colour cards. I think we'll go through it in order though. So it's another excellent. Oh, look at this. This is what I said last time. I said it was like wing, not wings. Look at the colours, and then it makes it easy to understand. So let's have a look at it. So basically, it shows you all the parts here, as you just saw them there in the box. We've got decals, decal sheet. Where's the decal sheet? Doesn't seem to be here. Is it underneath? Is it already underneath? No, not underneath. That's odd. Is it at the front? Oh, is it me? Have I got no decals in this one? That's very odd. Is it back up here? No. Is it in there? No. Well, I don't see any decals on this one. So that's a little bit odd. Go around here. Can't be anywhere else, can it? No, there's no decals under there. That's it. We appear to have a set of decals missing. Well, it doesn't actually matter because, as it happens, I bought two of these, one for a friend and one for me. So we'll get to the bottom of this by opening the other one and seeing what the situation is with that one as well, because I think we want to see it, don't we? It's definitely not there, is it? There's nothing. I'm glad I opened it on film because at least I can show GasPatch that they weren't present. That's very odd. That's nothing. Not a sausage. Anyway, we won't dwell on that. Bear with me a second. Bear with me a second. Having a slight glitch here. Let's have a look at the other one. As I said, there's two of them. You see, there's more than one. Right, we're going to have to open that one as well, I'm afraid. So, my friend doesn't mind. I think we've got to see it, haven't we? We're very gentle. We've got to see it. Has this got decals in it? I'm opening this, make sure that this can be seen on the screen, so that there's no misunderstanding. Same again. Got that. And then I think we might have a problem, GasPatch. What's going on? There's no decals in that one either. I bought two. Yeah, I'm right about the parts. No, there's nothing underneath. It's just foam. Well, that's really weird. So there's no decals included. I missed something here. Yeah. So I'll put that back as it was. Well, that's damn strange, to be honest. That is damn strange. Not in there. Yeah. Well, they don't seem to have supplied us any decals in either of the sets, so a little bit of a glitch there. I'm going to have to contact them. It's not disappointing. Anyway, we won't dwell on it. Maybe it's just some glitch at the factory and they can just post me some. They're going to have to post me two sets because I've got two models. Anyway, let's have a zoom. So there should be a decal set, decal sheet, which is definitely not present in either of these kits. Two kits, no decals. A bit strange, so you might want to hang fire till they've sorted this out for us. Okay, so I was just raving about how good it was. They're going to lose a point there, aren't they, I'm afraid. Anyway, here you can clearly see that we've got the 3D printed seat for the pilot. And how it's, it makes it fairly clear about how you're supposed to remove it. And then they've got these beautiful colour illustrations showing how it all goes together. There's some acetate film provided, that'll be in this bag, I guess. Yes, there is indeed some. It's even got a masking shaped cutout, so it shows you. Can you see that? I'll show you in a minute. Then you're going to paint it obviously in the correct colours. Does it tell you what sort of glue to use? Yes, it says use cyanoacrylate or white glue for different materials. Now I'm a bit allergic to cyanoacrylate, as I've said many times before, so I'll be probably using white glue. We are experimenting with some of the glues at the moment, so I'll perhaps tell you more about that later. Anyway, we've got the cockpit tub here being assembled, complete with the rudder pedals going in. This is so well done, it's very explanatory. It's extremely clear visuals. This is almost better than Airfix, and they're probably the standard bearer now for instructions. It's right up there, isn't it? That is as clear as it clear can be. Shows all the colours, what it should look like, explains what each part is, and clearly explains how they should be removed and which parts are just the sprue. Same over here. And we have got all the side controls, the trim controls, interior of the fuselage. I really like the way they've done the instructions. They're absolutely marvellous. Really marvellous. That's as I say, it's somewhere between Wings and Airfix, isn't it? It's kind of a combination of the two, really. Shows you how to remove the parts there from the sprue. Then it's got decals, which we haven't got, sadly. Very strange this, isn't it? That must have been missed in the factory. It must be an error. There's definitely no Nothing else it can be. That's it. That's the box. You know. You saw me unseal them both, so there we are. Anyway, instrument panel. You will get some decals eventually. I'll sort of make sure we do. But ammo compartment then for the cannon, which goes on the back of behind the cockpit with the ammunition belts. Then we've got our landing skid, which looks absolutely wonderfully detailed, doesn't it? I've got a feeling I might need my other glasses on when I review the parts in a minute. But again, shows you exactly how to cut off all the parts from the sprue, including the tail there, and the rocket motor exit, interior parts of the fuselage and exactly how they go in. All the controls, internal controls for the pilot on the side of the fuselage there. Then you've got your front and rear of the fuselage, where the skid's going to go, where the rocket motor goes. Shows you exactly how the cockpit fits in, and then shows you the second half of the fuselage coming in. That ammunition area for the cannons that goes behind the cockpit going on the top. Your tail going in, and you've got the spar that goes, or the wing spars here, that goes through. Is that right? Or is it just a separate? No, it's just a separate piece. I don't think it goes all the way through. And then you've got your landing skid being fitted in there, and it shows close-ups and detail of how it should look. Then we've got some more of this clear film, that's like an acetate film, which is for the window, just behind the cockpit. Sorry, I lied. That's not the case. It's actually part of the clear parts this time that go behind. Yeah, it's actually so A2 there is a clear part. So, and then we've got the 30mm cannons coming in, the MK108s, plus their feeders, ammo feed belt system. And you can see how they go either side of the wing root. And some beautiful illustrations here to help you to see how it should look. And then we've got the nose and all the trim pieces of the cowlings that are going to go on there. And then we've got our elevators and our flaps for the control surfaces on the wing, and then the wings themselves here. And again, showing you clearly how they should look. You've got your landing flaps. These the underwing ones are like proper drag flaps, and you can have them in or retracted or extended. You've got the covers for the cannons, the MK108 30mm cannon covers there. That's fantastic, isn't it? I just wonder how it goes together. It's going to be the test with this model, isn't it, really? Tail wheel assembly, because it had a conventional tail wheel. And you can have it again extended or retracted. Shows the correct colours. Oh, okay, so interestingly, we have actually also got missing parts on those wheels, as I showed you. So there should be two lots. There's number 61, number 62. I think one is treaded and one is non-treaded. And we've only got, again, in both kits are the same, we've only got one. It's really strange. It's very odd. And then we've got the round tyres going on to the little dolly undercarriage. And then of course that is dropped away ultimately on takeoff, and then the landing skid's used for landing. And then you can see how it goes and fits over the landing skid there. Although that skid would be retracted, actually, not extended. So that's not quite correct, that photo, actually, because you wouldn't have it like that with the dolly attached and the extended skid. It would be retracted in. Then we've got the bulletproof glass protection for the pilot in the cockpit. And then we've got that whole bullet screen goes in there, complete with the compass, heading compass. And you've got the basically the supports for the screen there. Then we've got the canopy itself, complete with its little grab handle. Some really tiny parts here. And there's a stay as well for the actual canopy itself. And then here we've got the antenna and the pitot head. We've got the little ram air turbine, little tiny propeller on the front. Some people think it's a prop. It's not, of course. And I think that's a bleed valve underneath for the... Oh no, it's the IFF rod antenna, so beg your pardon. Which I don't know if that's a metal part or not, but anyway. And then there's a green light underneath, and then you're finished, and that's your Me163B Komet. So here are the schemes. Slightly annoyingly, they've left out the emblem on the tail, which I don't know if that's included in the actual decals, because we haven't got any decals. It is actually, it's one of those split designs. I'll just zoom in for this. It's one of those split designs where you can in fact assemble it there, see that? Which is okay, so you can have a swastika. Which is a sensible way of doing it, you know. And then we've got these different versions, different places, different schemes. I mean, you can really fill your boots with these 163s because no two which really seem to be alike in terms of the paint jobs. There's a lot of improvisation seemed to go on. I mean, look at the differences here. You got more conventional camo there, and you've got like a split swizzle camo, scatter camo, and then conventional camo mixtures. And then over here, again, bit of a mix-up. You've got like a scatter pattern on the tail, conventional elsewhere, and then very similar over here, in fact, but not the same though. Those two patterns are not identical. Look carefully. Look at the tail. Yeah. And then finally, you've got the one that was commandeered for Eric Winkle Brown to do his testing for the British RAF post-war prototype. So there we have it. So I have to say to them, for the instruction book, that's got to be one of the nicest instructions of a 72nd scale kit that I've ever seen. I think it is, by far. Only closely matched by Airfix, but we have no decals, folks, and we only have one set of wheels on both kits. They're identical. I just opened the second kit here, and that's the same. It's only got, they're identical in the contents. There's no second set of wheels, tyres. I should say, not wheels. So there's only one set of tyres, and there's no decals. Very odd. Anyway, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to have to be careful because this could be problematic. I can see with me getting some of these tiny parts out. I'm going to just pull that apart. Let's try again. Let's get the clear parts first, which are the injection moulded plastic. There's a bit of distortion, I've got to be honest. You know me and clear parts, I've got eyes like a hawk. Better eyes than my camera even, I think, on this. Let's see if it'll show on the camera or not. I'm going to have to get it very close, I think, to have any chance to show you. But yeah, they're quite nice. That part's very nice, that's the bit behind the canopy. But the canopy itself's a little bit of distortion there. Can we actually demonstrate that, I wonder? I'm not sure putting it in front of something is going to work. Not really. But it's got like this distortion of straight lines front to rear, like striation lines almost. Can we get that? Can you see it? Put my hand behind, will that help? Might just pick it up. But it's very small. It is there though. But if you can always have it, I suppose, with the cockpit up, you don't notice it quite as much, or do you? Interesting to see if that's as bad in the other kit. Let me just compare the other one. Why not? Let me just see if I can tell. Is that the same? Yeah, it is the same actually. So I think that's a moulding issue. It looks identical. Even though it's in the bag, I can see them straight away. So yeah, there's some fine lines front to rear, but I don't think it's going to be a deal breaker, really. Not on a smaller kit. It's not like the 24 scale Spitfire where you've got this huge canopy with lots of distortion going on. So that's your clear parts. Not perfect, but quite nice. And you've got to bear in mind it's a small kit. So yeah, I mean it is. At 72nd scale, this is like a. It's not much bigger than a cruise missile, is it? It's sort of 32nd scale. Now, if I take this out of here, am I going to regret it? Probably. Now hang on a second. Okay, we found the second set of wheels. They're not missing, they just fell out. That's what's happened. So we're not missing wheels, we are definitely missing decals. There's no decals here at all, in either kit. There's not a sign of them, not a hint of them, nothing at all. They've just been missed. How strange. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to contact them for that. But let's have a look at these parts and get into that. I don't think I'll need the knife again. I don't think I'll open the. I don't think I'll open the mass sex. I don't think it's worth it really. I'll leave that there. So, see what you think of this. Now bear in mind you're going to see this is 3D printing resin, so you're going to see a lot of the sort of sprue here that's going to have to be removed. So, what do we think? See that? I mean, obviously it's quite small, isn't it? That's one side and that's the other. They won't connect to anything because they've got the sprue in the way, but there you go. That is our. Perhaps we're going to connect to the back of it. They actually have, interestingly, they actually have got connector pins, male and female sockets to connect together, and actually that bodes very well. Actually, I can just demonstrate that. Sorry. I can just demonstrate that now. I've just pushed them together and they look like they're an excellent fit, don't they? Can you see that? So see the pins? Put them together like so. Great fit. Great fit. Perfect. So it does bode well. Does bode well. So let me put those back. How's it go? Like that. Like that. Then we've got the wing, which we kind of already saw. I'll show you the wing now, just for interesting. This time it's the starboard wing this time. So, just come back a little bit. See, there we are. Now then, so you can see you've got your slat, wing slat, there. And if you look very carefully, I don't know if you can make it out, but it is actually hollow. It's beautifully moulded. It's actually got daylight through it. Probably quite hard to see unless I cheat. I don't know if this will work. Can you see it? Yes, you can see it there, can't you? You see it? He says. There. See it? Yep. So that's quite good. So those are beautifully done. There's the underwing side where you're going to have your landing flaps. It's got this beautiful surface to it. It's nice resin they've used. It's beautiful. I like it, I like it, I like it. Then we have got, whoops, then we've got lots of tiny parts. It's going to be a little bit time consuming to show you this, but you'll have to bear with me. I think that one's perhaps not worth showing so much. Here's the cockpit tub. Cockpit tub here. It's so tiny, I've got to get really close to the camera to show it to you. There's the main cockpit tub. Mighty small it is too. Then we've got the back of the seat itself and the armour plating behind it. Try and see the 3D printed framework at the bottom. Look at that. And then we actually have the seat which mounts into that. That's just the back of the seat. So the little seat itself is here. Again, absolutely tiny. It's good, isn't it? It's very, very good. Okay, that's that one. Then we've got the cannons. And they come on like a sprue together. You have to separate them ultimately, but again, look how tiny they are. This is a challenge to actually show because it's so small. Underneath. I think it's going to be quite a fiddly model to build this, actually, being honest. I think it sort of goes with the territory, really. Then we have got the This is the lower. Oh no, sorry. This is the. These are the air brakes. Sorry. Come on. There we go. These are the. Is that actually the flap or? Yeah, it's the. Everything's very delicate. Oh, I've got to take my time with it, you know. So this is actually the flaps. That's landing slats underneath, I should say. Landing slats. They look so weird because they're on the framework. You're going to cut them off. So that's one side. That's the other side. They're very nicely moulded. At least they put it in a grey. It's not quite as horrible to show you as I thought it was going to be, if I'm honest. So I had real doubts it was going to show up. It was going to be some of this grey or pink that they so often seem to like with this resin when they're doing 3D resin printing. This is the nose. This is the nose of the plane here. Which is nice. Then we have got the Volta rocket motor exhaust, which is beautiful. I mustn't drop this. If I drop this, the carpet monster's going to have it straight away. I know it is. That's the exit of the rocket motor, the exhaust. You see how hollow it is. Yeah. Yeah. So that is that one. Gosh, it's pretty quite a challenge to actually show this on camera. It's not an easy thing to show because everything is so tiny, and because it isn't on a conventional sprue, you know, I'm having to be very careful I don't drop anything in. I've got to pluck them out of this foam and show you one by one, and it's A, risky for dropping it and losing it, and B, it's quite tricky and delicate. This is part of the landing skid arrangement here. It's actually the upper part, landing skid. I mean, it's a good job they've done these beautiful instructions, isn't it? Here are what I thought were the missing wheels, but they're not in fact missing, unlike the decals, which definitely are missing. Okay. I mean, they're just tiny. I wonder about the wisdom of them doing it at this scale, because it is tiny, tiny stuff. Absolutely crazy. These are the actuators, I think, for the actual skid itself underneath. And then we've got all sorts of stuff. We've got the actual, you saw the tyres, well here's the wheels. These are the actual wheels that go inside. The dolly. Okay. Then we have talked about the skid. Well, we've got two versions. This is clever, isn't it? So, I was right. The instructions are a little bit confusing, perhaps. So this is the retracted skid when it's retracted in, and then there's a version of it where it is actually extended for landing. So I'll show you them side by side. I think that's the best way with this. There we go. The camera would just oblige. So that's the extended one at the top and the retracted one at the bottom, complete with its mounting pivots. It's sprung, not sprung enough though. Some of these had very heavy landings, and this is when the fuel tanks would burst because of the impact. Look at that. Nice, isn't it? So that's that one. Gosh, I've got to be so careful not to break anything. It's so delicate looking, isn't it? Then we have got the instrumentation, and again we're getting some fine parts we don't want to lose here. See that? We've got the stick and one of the levers for operating the canopy, I think it is. There we go. It's, again, absolutely tiny. Jeez, just getting them back in is a challenge and not damaging anything. And then I'll give you an idea of just how fine some of these parts really get, because we're getting to this really ridiculous end of it now. Look at this. Here we go. I mean, look at the size of these compared to my fingers. They're absolutely tiny. Like the trim wheel there. Trim wheel? Oof. Crazy. We've got various switches, like the motor control. I think so. One of them's a shut-off valve, etc. Then we've got, careful. So again, some incredibly delicate parts here. So small, I'm struggling to actually, even though I know I'm familiar with the aircraft, but everything's so tiny and there's so much framework attached to it. It's hard to actually get your head around what it is. I think some of this is some of the tubing in the cockpit, actually, on the side of the cockpit. You have to be so careful how you pop that back into the foam, not to damage it. It's so easy to do. And again, some of this tubing and wiring and stuff around the cockpit area. It's crazy fine pieces. You've got to be very, very patient when you start cutting this, not to get carried away and start cutting parts that should be there. Here we've got, this is parts of the tail wheel assembly. Sorry about the focus, it does take its time. I don't like to be rushed, my camera. Once it does focus, it's brilliant. Just likes to take its sweet time about it. So that's the tail wheel. There's actually, it's like a double wheel, isn't it? That's that. And then, that one, we've done that one. What's this one? That is trim. Oh yes, the dolly. We talked about the dolly with the wheels. Well, here's the central axle of the dolly. I'll try and hold this in my hand, it might be easy to see. So this is, again, the framework is to be ignored. As you now look at it, the framework is toward the back, so that'll be cut off. But that's the central axle for the dolly. Have a wheel on either side of the axle. Jeez. I'm sweating here because I'm just terrified of breaking anything. Then we've got our ailerons. There's two sets of these, of course, so I've got one for each side. If you don't mind focusing, Mr. Camera, thank you. So these are our ailerons. There's two per side, of course. Ailerons and elevator, in effect. It's actually flaps. Yeah, flaps and aileron. Then these little tiny parts seem to just keep coming. All manner. This is this piece that was like what I thought was the wing spar, but it is a bit of a spar, but it's only a little tiny thing. Okay, it's tiny, isn't it? Look how tiny they are compared to my hand. Good lord. Crazy small parts. Then we've got these cowlings I mentioned. The bits of the cowl, the covering cowl that goes over the top. Here we are. So that needs to be cut off. Yeah, interesting. There's quite a lot of contact out there. You've got quite a lot of clean-up, haven't you, on these? With it being so small, it makes it fairly tricky. This is not going to be a quick build, this model. Even if you're a fast build, which I am clearly not. I don't think even a fast build is going to be doing this in a weekend, because there's just too much clean-up. But the actual surface detail, I don't know if you can make it out, there's like a little access hatch in that circle. That's brilliant. Then we've got our instrument panel. It's boggling my mind that things can be this small. Here we go, instrument panel. It's tiny, isn't it? It's got to be cut off there. Phew. Then we have got, this is the top cover, the area where we're going to put in our, behind the cockpit, come on, behind the cockpit and there's obviously a window there. And then this is the area on the top where the cannon shells belt will go in. That's the ammunition loading area, feeder area for the cannons. One feeds one side, one feeds the other. You're going to need your best glasses on to work on this kit, I can tell you. That much is absolutely clear. What have we got here? Something absolutely minute. I think this is that pitot. Look at the size of this. I think this is that pitot that we spoke of. It's so big I'm struggling to actually present it now. So it's so small, I should say. It's so tiny. It's very hard to show. See that? It's like a little pitot. It's tiny, tiny thing. You're going to have to be so careful. What does that leave us with? Then we've got the rudder. Okay, this is the rudder at the back, and again, it's not big, not big. There we are. The rudder. But they've got the, they've been able to get the moulding really fine. You've got some really, really nice texture in there, sort of stress skin effect. Very, very good. Have I shown you everything? Not. This is a challenge. I didn't expect it to be this tiny. I didn't. I mean, the glasses I've got on are good for 90% of what I do, but not really today. I need the big ones on. But there's another piece there of the frontage where you have the bulletproof screen, I think that is. I've got to be so conscious, A, not to break anything, and B, not to miss anything. I'll show you that. Yeah. I think that might be everything. I think it's everything. Where were those bullets though? It's a bit strange. It's a bit of a shame that they've missed out the decals. That's a little bit of an error, faux pas. The gun. Where's the gun? Hello. Where was that? The gun belt ammunition. What I'm querying is this gun belt ammunition, because it shows it like it's empty, as though there's a little row of bullets that goes in there, and if that is true, that's going to be so small you won't believe it. Step 6. Step 6. 6. Yeah, I'm right. Number 36. Oh, because it tells you what each one is. They've got a good guide, in fairness, that really helps. 36, where's that? Bear with me. 36, it's there. So that's the ammunition. Oh God, okay. It only works if you show it from one side. I don't think I showed it the right side. So this is the ammunition feed belts with the bullets. And this I'm going to have to get right close in if you can have any chance of seeing it, because they are minute. So on the left as you look, that's your bullets. Yeah. Incredible. Just remarkable. So they're not missing. They're all present. The only thing that is missing, I'm afraid, is the decals in the kit, which is a slight blow because I think they're going to be quite special. Remember last time they were very nice on the 48 scale kit. So I'm going to have to get on the email to GasPatch and say, I'm sorry chaps, but something is not present in the box. It's just not there. I'm saying that, just bear with me a second, I'm just going to make an absolute concrete for sure check that they weren't actually presented separately outside of the box of the kit. I can't imagine that for a second. I'm going to double check there's nothing else inside the box. No, there's nothing separate. No, it's just polystyrene, nothing at all. So I'm afraid now that they've just not been included in the kit. It must just be a mistake in the factory in Greece. I think they just slipped up a little bit there, and we're missing. So, a bit of a shame that, but what an amazing thing now. What a truly amazing thing. Let me zoom you in again and you can have a final look at this as it's presented in the little tray. I'm going to put it back in its box so it's safer. And show it to you. That's the entire kit. So you've got wings, you've got fuselage, you've got your bulkhead with the seat mounting. That's the seat itself is here. That's the rest of the cockpit. You've got your cowlings here, you've got your flaps here, you've got your nose here. That's part of the area behind the cockpit. And you've got your Walter rocket motor, you've got your skids extended or retracted, you've got your cannons here, and then you've got all these tiny parts like the stick and the trim wheels, and then you've got the bullets over here. Absolutely remarkable. That's the rudder. And then you got your wheel, that's optional. Did I actually show the two types of tyre? I didn't really compare them, did I? I should have done that. Let's just have a look. I'm going to need my zoomy glasses for this, so just bear with me a second. Because I'm going to have to get into it. And if I can see the difference, I can show it to you. If I can't see it, it's very difficult to sort of put it into words, really. See what the difference is. Just put my old zooms on for a second. So this is 61 and 62. I can't see an awful lot of difference. That's odd. Tread doesn't look different. So I find that a bit odd. They just look pretty much the same. 51 and 52. Anyway, there we have it. Something that is different, to put it mildly. That's the first time I've ever bought a kit that is a resin 3D printed kit. I've never come across one before. Clear parts, good but not perfect. I think that could have been a bit clearer on the main canopy. But overall, the detail and the finishing is beautiful, really special. Just a shame that they've missed out giving us our decals. There's just no sign of any decals in either kit. And I've got two of them there, so we know that it's not just a random kit. It's obviously been missed. So looks like they ran out. I'm just going to check on this one if there's any other difference or any other glitches. Separate kit. Just did check already, I know, but no decals. They're just not present. There's been too much worrying about the leaflet and not enough concern about the decals, it seems to me. Put those back in there. Nope. No, everything's there. I'm not going to disturb it. There's no decals underneath, so there's no point in digging down. I don't need to open the bag on that one. So there we are. Yes, bit of a shame about the decals, but I'm sure they'll sort it out. I don't want to harp on too much, but they're probably going to lose a point for it, which is a real shame because, to be perfectly honest, it's quite revolutionary, isn't it? It's absolutely mouth-watering. It's just my only reservation, even assuming you've got the decals are all present and correct, the only reservation I've got is it looks like a right eye destroyer. The last time I saw a kit that was as dangerous to your eyes as that was probably the Tamiya. Where are we? I'll do that piece of gubbins. Anyway, yeah, the Tamiya Honda RT166 motorcycle. That was the last time I saw anything that's that tiny and that fine and that eye destroying. So I like it. I think the quality is amazing. Obviously it's a bit annoying that there's no decals at all. That's definitely an error. Bit of a glitch at the factory, clearly. We'll have to get that resolved. But I'm not sure it lends itself, 3D printing necessarily lends itself to 70-second scale so much. I'm thinking at the 48 scale they've already got the injection moulded kit, which is beautiful, by the way. I'm thinking that it would have been more suited to that because it's not a big aircraft to start with, if you see what I mean. It's a tiny thing. Now this is not cheap. This cost, I think including shipping, it's about £45, including shipping, mind. So it's quite a lot for a little kit, isn't it? But it is a thing of beauty. It is a thing of beauty. I'm not knocking it. That is almost a revolutionary kit, an epoch-making, game-changing sort of moment. To see something that's so finely moulded, so beautifully moulded, it's kind of unique almost, you know? It's kind of unique. It's almost like a demonstration. They've gone small to say, look at what we can do. And we know that GasPatch are a bit like this with their beautiful moulding on these guns and things they do, World War I machine guns, etc. They have got some amazing sort of very detail obsessive people there, I'm sure. It's paying off for them. It's a shame they weren't so detail obsessed about putting the decals in. But anyway, so where am I with this one? So I think I'm going to give it. I mean, the decals thing is just a mistake. Clearly, the kit is supposed to come with decals, so I think whilst it's a little bit irritating, especially when there's two of them and it's not in either. I'm not going to hold it against them though because it's clearly a mistake. So I'm going to give them 9.5 out of 10. Which I think is a good score, and for something so different and revolutionary and new, I think that's actually an incredible score, because you know you can see there are elements of it. It's going to be a very tricky build. It's going to be very fiddly, especially at this size, terribly fiddly. But I think 9.5 represents how impressed I am with their attention to detail and how much effort's been made in terms of the accuracy. It looks really nice. It really does look nice. It's not going to be a quick build, you've just got to take your time with something like that. So there we have it, folks. So that's the GasPatch Me163B Komet in 1/72 scale, 3D printed resin with clear parts that are in injection moulded parts to make them nice and clear. I've got a beautiful write-up on the back. I'm very, very impressed with it. It would have been 10 out of 10 if I'd got some decals. No, I'm not really marking it down because of that. It's more the fiddliness and the challenge. I don't think it's not a kit for beginners, I don't think. And if, like me, you've not done a resin 3D printed kit before, call me a Luddite if you will. But if you're like me, you will find it's going to take time. So I think it loses half a mark, perhaps because of its user friendliness. And for God's sake, please, anybody that buys this, and I would urge you, yes, to consider buying it. You might want to check and make sure you ask them in advance to ensure that it's got decals. But the biggest problem you'll have of all with that kit is the carpet monster grabbing half the parts, because they are tiny. I mean, they're minute, some of those parts. You know, you saw how my fingers now look like this big compared to the part. Absolutely mad. You know, you can't dare. I think I'll have a tray out or something, because you can't afford to drop them. You can't. You're not going to see them again. They're just going to be gone. They're so tiny, tiny, tiny. So there you go. Anyway, I'm very impressed. I think it's almost revolutionary. 9.5 out of 10 from me. I think that's a great score, all things considered. And I'll get onto them now and say, where the hell are my decals? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you thought it was interesting. So it's seeing something that is, you know, it's almost like a nav something completely different. It's not completely different, but it is different. And it's, you know, a real breakthrough kit in some ways. So I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. I would just say to GasPatch, just check your QC to make sure you put everything in the box. And also, I wouldn't go any smaller. That's a lot of small, tiny stuff in there. And I think that some models are going to watch this video and think, oh no, not for me, you know. It's all very well watching it on my 20x zoom, but trust me, I've been looking at this, and one of the reasons it's probably been a little bit more difficult to watch than they usually are, you've probably been thinking, well, you know, the camera's not focusing. No, the camera can't focus because the parts are so small it doesn't know they're there. Anyway, there we go. Thanks very much. I hope you'll give me a thumbs up, give me a like. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be please tune in again soon, because we'll have lots more similarly interesting subjects to cover in the not too distant future. And in the meantime, please look after yourselves. Stay well. Stay safe. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time. Bye for now.